Good morning, everybody. So this is a ditch I trapped last year. Showed it on film. I think I ended up pulling 7 beaver out of here in like a week and a half, but last year. But I come by, I wanted to check on it. Of course, the highway's just right here, the road, traveling the road to another set location we got. And I noticed this water standing in here, and so anyway, I got over here and got it set yesterday afternoon. You can tell there's a crossover coming over right here. They've just got a hole burrowed down to a culvert. They're going through the culvert over here to the other side. I've got a trap set in it. I've got a foothold on a drowning rod out here in the water in front of that crossing. And there's another light crossing, comes out right there and goes into that big culvert. But just right over here, we drop down right over here and we put a 330 on a stand right here, and I can see a beaver nose sticking out there. So we're gonna get down here and get this beaver out of here and get this reset. Alright guys, so there's another location we set. So probably won't be able to see it too good, but there's a big pond here in the background, and then this is the drainage that comes off the pond right here, goes out. They backed up this little side drainage. They've come in here and put a couple of dams. Yesterday we got in here and put a couple of traps up, and we got us a catch right there. Gonna be a muskrat in that 330. We'll get down there and get that muskrat out, and we'll get this reset back. One more dam just up here a little ways, another dam built, and then we'll get around there and get some more sets checked that we've got. So I'm just going to get that muskrat out of there, guys, reset this back in here. Alright guys, so here's that pond here, and this is the drainage on it. It's just cut out. That's waist deep or deeper right here in this little channel, and then it just drains out here, and that's that little dam we just walked across, come up those cedar trees up that channel. But come in here and put a 330 on the stand right here. The channel goes underneath this root right here. We got that 330 bedded there on that stand. Looks like it's, I can still see the springs are compressed right there. We'll get on around here. You can see evidence of a little bank bend right here. Probably muskrats are using that little hole. But over here on this other side, we can tell where they're starting to build actually there's 2 huts that they're starting to build. And we've got a foothold where they're crawling up on top, bringing debris to build that hut. And then there's a channel that goes back to another pond that's out here in these woods behind it. So we're gonna get over there and we'll get those sets checked. Alright guys, we made it back around here, this backside, and you can see, so basically what this was, and it originally was just a bank bend hole that they had dug coming up into the bank, and it's probably collapsed over time. And they come in and started backfilling it with debris, and they're actually built a hut right here. If we leave them alone, there'll be a big hut right here on the side of this. So right here, guys, is a trail that comes up where they're bringing that debris and stuff up, and I put a foothold at the bottom of it. And then we can look right over here where they're using it crossing over. This is going to be a back entrance coming out of that hut. It's going to be underground right here from this hole over to here. I've got a 330 bedded down in it right here, and then we can tell where they're coming out again on that other side, and they've got a trail beat down over here to another pond that's in the woods. And we'll get over there, and I made one set on a drowning rod where this trail drops off into that other pond. All right guys, that back entrance to that hut, you can see this trail coming through the woods, and that's going to be those beaver going back and forth between that pond over there and this pond over here. And we come right in here and put a foothold on a drowning rod last night. See, it's still going to be set here. So just got that drowning rod pushed into the mud out there, and then I just got our foothold right here where the entrance, where they come out of the water or in the water. We've got that trap guarding it. All right, guys, so the water, you can tell the water's washing down through here. Got a trap in this hole that goes down into the culvert. Can't see it right now. Got the foothold that goes out there. Can't see it either. We've got a conibear inside this culvert right here. Let's see if we can. It's still set down there. I'm pretty sure my foothold's still set. I think that stick sticking straight up right there is the tip of my marker stick. Let's step over here. Almost looks like something might have happened over here in this culvert where we had the one caught yesterday. Looks like our conibear's pulled out. It's gonna be a little bit too deep for me to slide down in there this morning. I'm gonna try to reach it from up here. Actually, guys, that trap is still on there, still set. So that trap's still set as well. We're gonna get on down here and check these other two dams we got set, and I'll check in with you guys down there. Alright, guys, we can see the conibear still set on the bottom of that run. Had a foothold up here on top. I'm not going to try to traverse this. I've got another 48 hours. I can get down there and make sure that trap's set. We're going to get there today with this water. Hopefully tomorrow we'll get back out here. The water level's gone down a little bit. If not, we'll have one more day. But anyway, yep, I'll get over here and get one more location checked. This next location, guys, was one we set conibears up in a run between a culvert and a lake. Between a culvert and a lake, and had 3 conibears sit in there. And on a 24-hour check, I come back and all 3 conibears were thrown. One of them had a chewed stick where they were carrying it. Had a stick in it. The other 2 were just stripped, laying there. So those beavers have wised up to what those conibears are. So yesterday when I got over there, me and Lauren put in snares. We put in 3 snares instead of 3 conibears down this little run. So I'm gonna get over there. Hopefully we got to catch in one of those snares. But I'll check in with you guys over there either way. All right, guys, here's that run. So basically we got a big pond just right up here on the edge of these woods. Comes over here to this culvert, and the beaver's got this culvert stopped up right here, this drainage. And there's just a big channel runs right down the middle between the 2. And Lauren and I come in here yesterday and hung some snares up. Here's our first one right there. Just got it hung right in the middle. You can see that trail right here, and it's got that snare hung up right there. He's on up here. We got 2 more snares, and we got a foothold on the little crossover where they're coming over from the lake. So let's step over here and check the rest of these out. This next one right here, we've got the snare completely submerged under a little log that's here. It was already here. I just got that snare submerged in that channel underneath that log right there. This is our support wire coming over here, tied off to the tree. All right, let's step on up here and check this foothold and this other snare as it goes out into the lake. All right, guys, so we got a foothold trap right here, anchored to this tree, stretched across here. Just got it placed right there as they're coming over this crossover into this run. And then right out there we got another snare hung in this channel. It goes back in right here. Right there where that limb sticking up comes across the top of our snare, and we got that snare hung right there. So nothing here this morning. No catches at all this morning. I'm ready to call it done out here in this rain. But anyway guys, I'm gonna head to the house. I laid some bobcats out of the freezer. I think I got 4 or 5 bobcats to put up today. And yeah, we're gonna enjoy the rest of the afternoon in the dry shop putting up fur. Alright guys, we got significant rain yesterday. You can tell this is that culvert. Goes over to the pond. We had the snares hung up and in that run. And we got us a beaver right up there in that pile. We just had that snare hung up underneath that limb right there. You got that good sized beaver. I'm gonna ease on up here and check these other sets. Hopefully that one moving. We had some more moving. I just walked on up. This little channel winds through here over the pond. And originally we had this limb. This limb was laid across this channel. We had that snare set under it. Well, with the flood, that made the water a foot or more higher above the snare, so the snare was completely submerged. Those beavers coming through here were just going to be swimming right over the top of this stick instead of going under it like we had initially planned. So what we did, we come in here, that channel, we kind of blocked it down using that stick, propping it up on this one. And we brought our snare and put it right in the middle of that channel, just like that right there, and I blocked down with that stick. So now that snare's working again, and yep, hopefully have a catch with it. I'm gonna ease on up here and check this foothold and this other snare we got out in the edge of the lake. All right guys, so our ground cable's still stretched across there to our trap bed. But I want to get hands on it. Make sure that it's still set and working. Oh, there we go, right there. Yep. Trap still set. Just gonna place it right back up there in that run. Alright, and our other snare is right out there underneath that limb. Try to get over there and get hands on that trap as well. Should be getting to that run here pretty quick. There it is. I'm not gonna be able to step off in there. Let's see. See if I can straddle it here. Just trying to find my anchor point. I don't remember exactly where I anchored at. Right there's our guide wire. Right there's our snare. It's fell. What we're gonna do, guys, is gonna do the same thing. We're just gonna bring it up here in the middle of that run. Like that right there. I want to adjust this stick just a little bit now. Alright, pick that up just a hair. use that stick to help support that wire a little bit. There we go. Alright, right there's what we want. So now we got that snare working again right there. Just right in the middle of that run. We'll take this stick and I put it behind it, maybe a little bit of a bait stick, get it shining. Alright guys, so we got these snares back up working in this flood water. And yep, get on over there and check that other location. Alright guys, so that's really, there's that dispatch beaver. I walked over and checked those other snares come back. The beaver was laid right up here and he's gone. It looks like a long stretch from my anchor cable that I had. I had that snare just hung underneath that limb right there in that run. A pretty good ways over here to that beaver. See if he broke that cable when he was struggling or what happened there. I'm not sure guys, he's not attached to any cable. That's really strange. Let's come up here we can look at him. Yep, he did. So when he was struggling, doing that last bit of struggle, got him right around the neck on that cable. That last little bit of struggle, he popped that, broke that cable. That's one of our smart beavers, the Conibears. It's going to be an adult for sure. Let's get it up here to the side by side. Get it to the house and get it skinned and put up this afternoon. Alright guys, so we made it over here. This next location, this upper dam flood pretty much made the 330s where they weren't working. I went in and pulled both of those. Still got our 330 in that culvert where we caught that first beaver, and then they've got a drowning rod on the front side of it. Right here we had a drowning rod. I'm gonna see if I can locate it. Yesterday I had that trap was tripped on this drowning rod. I had to get that trap working order again. Let's see. Right there's a rod. I can see it. Right there's our mechanism. We're going to stand this stick up there behind it, so it's all going to still be up here. Just want to make sure that it's still in, still set and still working, and it is. Right there's the trap. So we're just going to leave it laying right there, just like that. That 330 down there, a lot of debris washed up in it. It's not working real great. I think we actually may see if we can move it. Let me move it right over to this edge now. Actually, that flood's got everything messed up. Probably going to be using that edge right there, maybe the crossover, or even that far edge over there. We're just going to leave it like it is one more day. Let the water go down. If we need to, we can readjust it then. Maybe even move it on farther back, away from the dam, kind of where it necks down right there. Anyway, ease on up here and get this other pond we got set. We'll get it checked. Alright guys, made it over here, this pond, get it checked. This is the first set. We had that muskrat in the other day, and our 330 is not there. Let's step down here and see if we can figure out what happened here. So that 330 was right up here in this crossover. I can see the springs right down here. Right here is our ground anchor. We're just gonna pull that anchor up, see what we might have on there. If anything, nothing there. So we had a miss. If I was betting, I'd bet on another muskrat. We had him by the tail for a minute, and he pulled that trap on down there. I'm gonna get it reset and put back in there, guys, in that crossover, and we're gonna get over there and get those other sets checked. We've had this set for 4 or 5 days now and haven't picked up a beaver yet. So yesterday when I was in here, what I did was I kicked this dam out and got the water to where the water level would drop, hoping to get them to move. I've got us an otter up here in this next 330. I just had it sit on a crossover. Hadn't really done anything since it's been here about a week. I picked that otter up coming through. Nice. Look at this. Get him dispatched, get that track set back in there. Here's a new location. It's got this big pond right here on the side of the road. You can tell this little run goes over to the culvert and across the road there where the truck's parked, beside the tracks. Well, got out here yesterday and put a couple of Conibears in here in this run. There and check them real quick. We just put 2 right here together. Just got one right here and another one right underneath that limb there. I can see that one's still set. This one's still set as well. So this run just continues right through there out into that pond. So we're just gonna leave these set. Got another location just right down the road. Got several different sets put out there. So we'll check in with you guys there and show you some of those. Alright guys, so right here is probably one of my favorite locations to trap. I don't do it much anymore, but underneath these bridges or overpasses, those animals always, the dirt's fresh and dry. You can always see the tracks real clearly, and it's always just a fun place to trap. Yesterday when I got down here, I walked down here to check it out, and I could see that a mink had been coming up to this corner right here. Just I could see mink tracks. Then I'll get over here and show you guys. So you can just see, hopefully you'll be able to see them. You can just tell what mink's coming up here into these rocks on these corners, probably running this upper bank on this concrete wall. But I come in here and just put this little 1.5 right here in this trail, and then got a 110 right here. And I had a muskrat in the back of the mule that had been in there for about a week. And we used some of that muskrat carcass back in here, kind of in that little pocket behind that 110. Try to catch that mink there. And along this ditch, so all those critters like to run these ditches, and the water just went down, so there's not a lot of fresh tracks, and it's real muddy up here. But you can usually find a trail, a high bank trail runs this upper edge, and those critters will run, all of them will run these ditches looking for resources. And we found some bobcat and coyote tracks on down the ditch where some trails come up. We got those set with some footholds. Anyway, we're going to get around. It's just kind of a pond system. We got about 5 or 6 ponds right here in a row, and beavers have been in here. Got a call about the beavers, so we got around, got a lot of snares set on the crossover trails, and yeah, got some footholds put out for those predators. So we're going to make our rounds and see what we can see this morning. Alright guys, so basically what we got here, we got this big drain. This is one of the main drainage ditches that come through the county, and right here we can see we've got this crossover trail coming out of this big ditch, and it's going over here to this pond system. There's like 5 or 6 ponds all linked together right here. So we just come in here yesterday, we got that snare hung up right there in the front of that crossover. Right down here you can see I've got that little container hanging from that limb. That's just a bait container that I make glow in the dark. Right underneath it, we've seen some cat tracks that come through that sand right over that mound, and I just went in there and bedded a 450 just directly where I seen those tracks, right underneath that path that they were taking, and that was really the only thing there, just bedding it where I saw those tracks. And right where I saw a paw print, that's where the trap went. And then I just had that container with it already baited, so I went ahead and just hung it up there as an attractant. We'll step right over here on the other side of this crossover. You can see it there. And it's going to go right down through here beside that pipe right there. And we've got another snare bedded right there in that trail. And then right over here was another crossover. You can see it right here in the grass. It's just going over there to that ditch. And we come right in here and got another snare hanging right there in front of it. So we're gonna make our rounds. Just went around these ponds yesterday and set several of these crossovers. And down the side of this ditch, we've got a couple of footholds down there. We'll go check those real quick and I'll show you those, and then we'll make our rounds around here checking these. Mostly snares, just like this on these crossovers, because there's not a lot of brush on the water's edge to height of 330. So snare was our best tool up here on this upper bank where it kind of flattens out. We got one 330 where they're coming. This right here is actually not a pond, it's just a flooded corner of a field. And we found one heavy trail coming out of the pond over into this stubble in this flooded field, and we got a 330 sitting down in here. The rest of it's snares. But anyway, we're gonna get down here and check these footholds we got in. I'll show you guys those when we get down there. So right here, guys, real quick, just walking back the mule, you can see all this otter scat on the ground. We got some fresh and some old, just a lot of, you can see the fish scales in it, the fish bones. So these crossovers, those otters are coming up, and while they're on dry ground, they're using the toilet up here, and then they're going back down. But there's a lot of otter signs, so we'll pick up those when they come through. All right, guys, here's our first foothold we put in right here. So basically we're driving down through here, and we got this bluff bank right here. It kind of flattens out a little bit, and I can see some otter tracks, a couple of little otter tracks right down in here. And I know those predators and stuff are going to be running this edge up here on this top bank. So what we did, we come right in here, right on this corner, and we put a dirt hole in. Just right there, just baited it with some bait. Come right in here, we got our trap bedded right here. We use this little root system here and this grass to kind of narrow it down to where they're going to put their foot on our trap. And yep, so there's the first one. And right down here we got another dirt hole, and then I got a trail set on a high bank trail, just a blind set over a log, and I'll show you both of those when we get down there. All right, guys, so yesterday when I was driving down the edge of this ditch, something that caught my eye, if I was a predator and I wanted to see the area around me, something that caught my eye is this big hill right here in front of us. So I got up there and walked that hill thinking, you know, those predators want to get up there on that high point to look around, and found a high bank trail, and we just put a blind set over a log on that trail. I'll step up here and show you. So there's this big hill right here, and walk up here and I'll show you that blind set that we threw in. Well, we got this log laying right here, and it's laying right over the top of that trail, and we just went on one side of it and bedded that trap. So right here's that trail, guys. You can tell just running the edge of this where they got a good view of the surrounding area, and that trail's just coming right down the top edge of this, going right up the top point of that hill. And I'll just come right here and bedded our trap right there on that side of that log. And then right down here on the edge, put another dirt hole. Basically just had a root wad turned up for those animals running the edge of this field. I wanted to have a set down here as well, and ended up putting that set underneath this root wad right here. What I did, I just come in here and dug a hole back in there, baited it with some bait, come in here, bedded my trap right here between that hole and this bone we're putting here. So this bone, just like you guys seen me do in the other videos of this, drove this cow spine down, got our bait in that cavity of that bone, and got the dirt hole sent back up there, and then we got our trap bedded in between the two. So when those animals come up here, they're gonna want to go in between the two, check it out, hopefully have a catch there.
I was like, is that a log or is that actually the beaver? I was like, that couldn't be the easy answer.
All right, guys, so around the corner, we got a beaver picked up here in a snare we put in. Well, we're gonna get up here and get him taken care of. Got him right around the head just like we want. And just a trail coming up right there. Just had this trail set as a trail crossing coming on, up and over, and had that snare bedded right there, and got that beaver caught this morning. So we're gonna get him out of there, and he hadn't got it messed up too much at all. So we're just gonna hang that snare right back up here where we had it at the top of that trail, and yep, hopefully catch another one as it comes through. So I didn't show you guys right over here, just right around the corner of this pond. We drove up this way, and right over here there's a trail crossing over out of this pond over into that flooded field. And I've got a snare set up on the pond bank side, just like we did here. On top, a snare, and then on the bottom, as it drops off into that flooded field, we've got a 330 on it. So, all right, I'm gonna get this beaver taken care of, guys. I'm just gonna replace this snare, hang it right back up here where it was, and have it working again for the next one. And we're gonna get on to our next location, get it checked. All right, guys, so right there's where we just had that beaver caught, and right here's our remake. We just come in here, use the same ground anchor with that split ring, attach the tail end of our new snare to it. Couldn't find my original wire that I had it stacked up with, so I just used a stick, and got the end of the stick through that whammy, wrapped the snare around that stick a couple times to help sturdy it. There's our loop right there, waiting on the next one to come up that trail. That trail just goes right over here and drops off in two places. It drops off right here, and then it comes right over here and drops off as well. And you can see there's some more otter scat. Those otters are going to be all in these fish ponds. Like I said, we got these two fish ponds right here, and then there's 4 or 5 of them on the other side of the highway over there, all of them linked together. That's going to be all the sets we've got here today. We're going to get back to the truck. Come down a pretty good downpour, and we're pretty wet, so we're going to get back to the truck and get over to those other locations that we've had set this past week and get those checked. Guys, we're over here at this pond, and just walking up here, I see something different. There's a limb laying there that hasn't been laying in that trail. Makes me think something may have carried it up there, but our mechanism's still up here and our trap's still right there. Oh, it must have just fell out of a tree. I'm gonna check and make sure that trap is still working. I can see it right there, still open under the water. So nothing here, no activity. I think what's happened, just looking real quick too, guys, something I just noticed I hadn't noticed. If you can see the colored, different coloration of the water right up here. So you got clear water, and it looks real muddy, kind of a red clay color right here. I bet that's going to identify a bank den. So right down here is probably going to be a bank den. I'm going to check it real quick. So until right there is a side, not very deep, not very deep, and right there it drops off, comes back up shallow on that end. So right in there's our deep run, comes back up shallow. There's going to be a bank den right there. Let me step down there and fill it with my feet.
You want me to get you a Conibears?
No, I may bring one back tomorrow. Right there's that run. I can feel the bottom of it's pretty solid, so that's a, if it's real muddy, they're not using it. If they're using, yeah, that hole goes right up in there. So one way to tell it's in use is if that bottom is solid, where they're swimming with their tail, and they're keeping that mud packed. Like I said, if it's real loose and muddy, they're not using it, but I believe they may be using this one. I'll probably bring a Conibear back with me tomorrow and get it set in front of this hole. I kind of wonder, we've been set for about a week now, and that main trail coming out between the two lakes nothing's been using it. Hadn't had a trip trap, nothing's messed with it. So I don't know, I think what's happened is we've got them beavers scared. Been driving the side by side beside that hut, coming back in here. So I think they're just holed up, not moving. But we're gonna leave it set for a few days. We're gonna start walking in here instead of driving that side by side, and see if we can get a couple picked up out of here maybe.